the budget went to the presidency and then came back to the National Assembly and then went back again to the presidency. Don't you think that particular process raises a big question mark as to what exactly transpired in the National Assembly?
Maybe I should read a report of the Committee on Appropriations on 2016 bill. That's about two parts of it, signed by Honorable Jibril himself. In paragraph 2, he said, the 2016 Appropriations Bill, after its presentation to the National Assembly, was seen to be fraught with some inconsistencies from MDAs, giving a subsequent reference by them to different versions of the budget. This was also noticed at the level of the subcommittees. This is strange and goes against proper budgetary procedures and processes with attendant implications. Lastly, the 2016 Appropriation Bill contained a number of omissions, including the area of personnel cost. Though the Appropriations Committee has filled some of the gaps, there are many outstanding cases which could raise serious concern in the course of the year. Jibril himself wrote this, so how did he feel those gaps? That's why I said there were so many gray areas, but we needed to pass this budget in good time. So this is his own document, signed by Honorable Jibril. I will leave the document with you. So he is also blaming even the executive that there were inconsistencies, there were gaps, there were omissions from what was submitted by the executive. Yet the House still passed.
Which, initially when we had spoken to him, he defended. I mean, he said that, the executive it didn't seem to be clear on what it was that they were doing, that, members of the House did help and, to clarify certain things, which is what is in that report. Yeah. But then when eventually it went back to the presidency, the report came back, or the budget came back to the to the National Assembly, yes, for a rework, as it were, and then before it went back again to the presidency, yes, for assent. Yes. Don't you think that that did raise questions, especially now that we're beginning to hear this budget controversy within the House of Representatives?
Well, the final stage of the passage of the budget is when is what is called the Committee of Supply, when the entire House sits under the chairmanship of the Speaker, and goes through the budget subheads clause by clause and all the amounts. Once all those subheads are passed, all those amounts are passed, and the budget is passed to the President, you cannot accuse anyone of padding or researching anything, because it will be taken as a decision of the House.
What do you make?
The President saw it before he signed it.
What do you make, just before my colleague comes in, what do you make of Honorable Gumau's allegations then? Because according to them, their group called the Transparency Group, according to them, they have over 100 members within their leadership, or within their membership, and that they've asked for this budget process to be reviewed. They've been asking for it before now. They said they've been asking for it before Ramadan, before the Hajj, and they were hoping that this would be addressed when people got back from the Salah break, but this wasn't mentioned at all. According to him, he says that the padding happens when the entire House has approved the budget, and then behind the members of the House, some people go back and go and insert new, headlines, new line items in the budget. You just already said that if the House approves it, it is not padding. Are you aware that behind members' back, some people go in and insert new line items?
After the President would have signed the budget?
No,
the President?
Before it gets to the President for assent.
So are you saying that the President signed what the House did not send to him?
Is it a possibility?
Is that what they're implying?
Is it a possibility? Do you think that happened?
That's not what happened at all.
You're not aware that happened?
It is not true.
You don't believe that can happen?
It is not true, because all of us have the final document of the budget. We've compared it with what we sent to the President, and it tallies. And they have the opportunity. We have rules of the House. A member can say, there is no day, because I've almost been consistent in attendance in the House, there is no day where any member sat up to say, point of order, Mr. Speaker, my rights as a member has been breached, a matter of privilege, and the Speaker, as a matter of course, will have to concede the floor to you and for you to raise your point of order. No one has ever raised a point of privilege or a point of order.
Is it right then, Mr. Pwajok, to say that
projects or that the budget that was sent to the President was different from the one that came out in the end?
Yes, I was putting a question through to you.
Mr. Pwajok, is it right to say then that the members of the House of Representatives are not serving the people that they are there to serve? If they can put together a document which is supposed to be true and fair to all, and at the end of the day, inside the House, they come together to begin to fight themselves putting up issues of discrepancies here and there? Is it right to say that you people are not serving the Nigerians you're there to serve?
The House of Representatives as an institution is serving the interests of Nigerians. It is unfortunate that a few of our colleagues have, instead of using the internal mechanisms provided by the rules of the House to resolve whatever differences they may have decided to now rush to the media to misrepresent the position of the House. We passed a budget, which is now the Appropriations Act 2016. That is a law that is being implemented by the executive. So I do not know from where they're coming from that they're raising these issues, which they have the opportunity of bringing them to the floor of the House. They've never raised any issue on the floor of the House that there's any issue with the budget. Go and check our votes and proceedings. There is no day any single member ever raised any issue that is a problem with the budget on the floor of the House.
Yeah, that at a certain time when issues were coming up in the course of the debates, the Speaker spoke to the members of the House and said everybody should calm down, and then you all sat back and said, okay, let's allow this to get to the presidency so that the president can assent to it. That means all of you sat down together, saw the discrepancies, saw the errors and the padding, as you call it, on the different sides of the budget, and you sent it to the president for approval, to the detriment of the Nigerians that put you there.
I've never used the word padding. I've never used the word padding.
So what happened? What would you use?
Because there's no word no like that. There's no word no like that. We have addressed this. We have addressed this issue, Chamberlain, earlier. We said there's an executive session where the Speaker said, look, in the national interest, if this budget is not passed in good time, salaries will be delayed. There are commitments which the federal government has to make. It can't meet its obligations. So let's pass the budget for what it's worth. That was in the national interest. I've said it earlier.
Let me ask you this one, because after the National Assembly harmonizes the budget, do you, as a member in the House of Reps, get that harmonized copy before it's sent to the President?
Yes, we get the harmonized copy before it's sent to the President.
But we had Honorable Gumal here, two-timer in the House of Reps. He says, we don't get that copy. So how come you get it and he says they don't?
Well, that is him. I'm an active member of the House of Reps. I got my own copy, and I've not seen any problem between what I got before to send to the President and what came back after the President signed the budget.
Okay, why then do you think that there were so many questions with the first budget wherein the President refused to assent to it?
Well, Honorable Chamberlain, I don't know what point this will serve, because all those issues have been rectified. I read Jibrin's statement. He himself said there were gaps, there were omissions in the original proposal, even from the executive itself. All those things have been sorted out in the process of the passage of the budget. Now we have the Appropriations Bill 2016. I thought we'd be looking at that Appropriations Bill. Is there any problem with the bill as signed by President Muhammadu Buhari? That to me should be the issue that we should be asking the Nigerians.
Okay, Mr. Pwajok.
We're going to go to court. Like people are saying, Jibrin has gone to EFCC, has gone to DSS, has gone to ICPC. Which document is he going to go and take those to them? Will it be the Appropriations Act 2016 or the document that we are being considered before the Appropriations Act? The Appropriations Act has already cured all that.
Okay, Mr. Pwajok, is there any problem with the document that was signed by the President, in your opinion?
There's no problem at all.
So,
no problem at all.
Based on what you told us earlier,
the signature of the President is there, the signature of the clerk of the National Assembly is there to show that the National Assembly had fulfilled all its own part of its work, and the President was also satisfied that yes, this is the Appropriations Act of 2016, and he signed, so it is now the law.
Okay, so based on what you told us earlier, Mr. Jibrin took the Secretariat of the committee to his house, did the budget, didn't carry the members of the House along, and all of you sat down, agreed, and sent it to the rest of the body of the National Assembly, and the President eventually signed it. And there's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
In other words, are you saying that...
Because the budget as it is now is the law that all of us are using in Nigeria.
So one man did the budget with his committee, did not carry the rest of you along, as you said, and the man is good and is a document that the nation is using?
Don't look at it like that. There were submissions, first of all, from the executive, from different ministries, different departments, different agencies. It came to the National Assembly. Different committees did budget defense before the appropriations committee. Yes, it is true that members of the appropriations committee accused Honorable Jibrin, who was then the chairman, that he took that other document and did the entire work alone. But for what it's worth, it came back to us in the entire House of Representatives. We looked at it, we passed it, and it went to the President. So the entire National Assembly passed it, not only the House of Reps, including the Senate. It's not a document of only the Reps. It's also a document, it received concurrence by the Senate, then it went to the President. Now it's a law for the people of Nigeria.
But that did not mean that members were happy, because from what you said, members had lost confidence in Honorable Jibrin. So you people were waiting for him to be fired.
That's why he's no more. That's why he's no more chairman.
So you were content with that decision of the House?
Yes.
Even though the budget was already passed and
yes.
it had become law.
Yes.
Was there anything else done to pacify members on this issue of the service-wide votes or the zonal interventions?
No. I'm not aware of that. All I know is that the Speaker appealed that because it's a yearly ritual, the next time when the 2017 budget is going to be considered, there will be a more transparent process where all members will be informed as to all decisions that are being taken, and all the deliberations will be done in the open, not one member taking a secretariat note to his own house. And this issue of stampeding people into taking a decision will not be repeated. The Speaker made that promise.
Honorable Edward Pwajok, we have to thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. We've been speaking to Edward Pwajok, who is the Chairman, House Committee on Human Rights.